Hey John here. So we got this Husqvarna with the Honda engine. I don't know what year it is. It's a few years old, but it's got low miles on it, or low hours on it rather. So the fella that owns it takes the carburetor off, cleans it up with some carburetor cleaner, puts everything back together, and now it won't run right. It's stuck on like a high idle. So I'm gonna have to take a look at it. It's probably something easy, but I figured it'd take you long, see what we could find. Okay, so the reason this machine came here because it had a high idle. When you start it, it was just racing out of control, like the governor was stuck on. So that's the original reason why it came here, and we figured that out. But it also had the reason why the customer took the carburetor apart in the first place is because when he was going along trying to use the machine, it would just stall and conk out. And he couldn't keep it running. That's why he took the carburetor apart. I learned this afterwards, but this is what the video is about, the machine conking out and wouldn't run right. So he did show me the symptoms when you dropped it off. It does, you know, you play with the throttle and it stays on a high throttle, so I'll show you what that is, just in case you have this similar situation. I think it's on. Now I remember what he said. He said it'll run on choke. Well, actually, you know, it was on choke, but it's not running right, of course. And then you take it off the choke, it wants to scream. So that's the governor's out of whack as far as I'm concerned. But he said he just took the carburetor down and you know, sprayed it out and put it back together. So something's wrong. Something was you know, we'll get to the bottom of it. But it sounds like it's something easy. Let's take this air cleaner off and see if he forgot a part or put something on wrong or something. Let me try to get a light in here to show you. All right, so this is the spring I was just looking at. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. When this spring, when I was operating this is fast, right? You can see that spring stretch. And when you go down, you see how I just did that little funky move there? That's not normal. So something's wrong with the spring. So then I thought, well, it did seem like a governor issue, and this is the governor arm here, that it sneaks under this gas tank and then goes down to, you know, backside of the engine there. But I was just toying with these, see if these springs were hooked up or whatever. And then, let me zoom in a little bit. Okay, so I think I found the problem. So, you know, I fully encourage people to, you know, do stuff themselves because most of the stuff is real simple stuff. But before you do anything, just take pictures. Like everybody's got a cell phone now. Just take pictures, more than you need, of every angle, so you can see where things were prior to taking it apart. Because when you get back, let's say, you know, you're doing something, you get a phone call, you have to walk away for even a day, you get back to it and you're like, where's this go, where's that go? When the fella put the thing back together, he just, you know, because this is sliding off, I was just looking at the connections. They all look like they're where they're supposed to be, but when you put it on, I'm feeling a little friction here. You see this little spring action? So that was a little wonky to me. And then looking in here, of course I don't have my glasses on, but so we can make this governor, see how it goes there, right? And then this is where it should be. But there's no, like, the governor just is on a shaft, right? You can freely rotate it. It doesn't have like positive stops, right? So this feels like a positive stop on the governor, right? Listen, like it's stuck there. And then you can push it here, right? So it was in this position where it's wide open, but it's like it's stuck there. So here's what a problem is. And I was like, what the hell? And your breather tube hooks to this nipple here for your carburetor, you know, housing here. So that hose is, you can't see it, but you just have to see it's coming off of your valve cover here. See it right here? It's not supposed to be that way in there. It's supposed to be hooked right here to, like I said, to this nipple. This thing goes on like this. That thing's supposed to go straight across into your nipple on the housing here. It's pinched where, that's why the governor is being stuck open. So this is just a matter of the guy who took it apart didn't put it back together properly. It's not a big deal. So we'll just get this thing out of here. It's kind of pinched in there, but probably has an indent now. But so that breather hose just needs to go in this where it's at right now. So that's what I'm saying. If you took pictures, you would have realized, wait a minute, where's that hose? So when he put it on, he sandwiched it. Now, I bet you this carburetor will sit where it's supposed to, and then operating the Yeah, you see now how it's on a spring? Everything's golden, right? We can go ahead and hook this breather hose to the nipple as we push it in. Right, so it's all the way seated. If it runs, it runs. If it doesn't, I'll have to take it off and clean it up properly, but we'll see what happens here. Turn it on. Alright, so I thought it was done with this, so it turns out there was another problem with it that I didn't realize. So it came here for that racing engine. We fixed the carburetor deal with the pinch there, and then I took it out here and started up and you know, was just testing, do a few test patterns. As soon as you would, you know, let the machine down on its, you know, lower level so the splines can get into the ground there, and you hit the handlebar to engage, kind of pops a little wheelie, right, but it would stall. And I couldn't get the thing to stay running, and then when you try to turn it around, when it did try to stay running, it would just stall. And then so turns out what that is, and I you know, after talking with the customer, he said that's originally why he thought it was a carburetor, and took the carburetor apart because it kept conking out. What it is that there's an oil sensor on there, believe it or not. So when a low oil sensor, low oil on the engine, it'll shut off. From my experience, you only see them on like stationary engines or things like a generator that just sit there and run a long time. You never see them on, at least I haven't never seen them on a like a push mower, because you're always pushing down on the handlebars, you know, to do your, just to turn around and stuff. So the engine's tilting, and you know, the oil's going back to the back of the engine, or you know, even on a undulating property, you know, going downhill or uphill or whatever, your oil is never really level when you're on undulating ground. The same thing with this. This thing's sitting like an angle. The engine's not even level here when it's you know, when it's on its wheels there. So it does have an oil sensor though. The oil was low. Put some oil in there, and boom, it's working good again. So now we're done. Now we're all set. See you next time. Later.